All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live stream. Today's going to be a quick one because we're just watching one video, but it has been one that has been recommended to me multiple times here now. So I said I will check it out. And when I saw what it was, Surah 5, I actually read Surah 5 before, and I kind of generally know what it's about. So I'm going to already have a little bit of previous exposure, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to listen to this recitation. I might pause it a couple times. We'll see. And give my thoughts along the way. But yeah, so I'm just gonna listen to it, see what it has to say, see if I can learn something today, and also give my thoughts about it as a Christian and stuff. So I like learning about other religions and faith. I like enjoying to listen and hear out other people and what they believe, and I truly do love and care, respect other people. So I always want to learn more about what other people think, believe, what their books say, and stuff like that. So I'm going to enjoy this video. I'm going to wait a minute or two. You can jump ahead if you are watching after the live stream to catch the actual reaction video. And as always, if you enjoy this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know you're out there. And if you want to interact with the live chat at all, you need to be a subscriber to do so. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, so I think I'm going to enjoy this because it's directly from the Quran, and I've listened to recitation before, and it's really cool to listen to them. It's really fun to do that. So I think I'm going to enjoy this, and yeah, and I do actually appreciate when other faiths share with me what they believe, and when other faiths or people that I've interacted with who try to convert you to their religion or whatever, I respect it because I know that it's out of a place of love normally, where they want you to be saved, or they want you to follow their God because they think it's best for you spiritually and physically and stuff like that. So I respect it, and so I like to learn and I like to listen. But yeah, so keeping that all in mind, I think I will enjoy this video, and so I think I gave it a little bit enough time now for people to hop on, and we will jump into it and see how this goes. I think we're going to keep it small screen so people can see the translations on the screen. Let me know if you have any issues. Let me look at the preview. Yeah, it looks good. So we will check. So listening to Surah 5, conversation between Jesus and Allah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يوم يجمع الله الرسل فيقول ماذا أجبتم قالوا لا علم لنا إنك أنت علام الغيوب. يوم يجمع الله الرسل فيقول ماذا أجبتم قالوا لا علم
So this is Judgment
لنا
Day.
إنك
God summoning the messengers.
أنت علام الغيوب. إذ قال الله يا عيسى ابن مريم اذكر نعمتي عليك وعلى والدتك إذ أيدتك بروح القدس تكلم الناس في المهد وكهلا وإذ علمتك الكتاب والحكمة والتوراة والإنجيل وإذ تخلق من الطين كهيئة الطير بإذني فتنفخ فيها فتكون طيرا بإذني وتبرئ الأكمه والأبرص بإذني وإذ تخرج.
Quick question: that he blew life into a clay bird. Is that mentioned anywhere else in the Quran? Let me know. I've never heard of that before. Well, I think I've read it before, but I didn't see it anywhere else. I mean.
الموتى بإذني وإذ كففت بني إسرائيل عنك إذ جئتهم بالبينات فقال الذين كفروا منهم إن هذا إلا سحر مبين. وإذ أوحيت إلى الحواريين أن آمنوا بي وبرسولي قالوا آمنا واشهد بأننا مسلمون. إذ قال الحواريون يا عيسى ابن مريم هل يستطيع ربك أن ينزل علينا مائدة من السماء؟ قال اتقوا الله إن كنتم مؤمنين. قالوا نريد أن نأكل منها وتطمئن قلوبنا ونعلم أن قد صدقتنا ونكون عليها من الشاهدين. قال عيسى ابن مريم اللهم ربنا أنزل علينا مائدة من السماء تكون لنا عيدا لأولنا وآخرنا وآية منك وارزقنا وأنت خير الرازقين. قال الله إني منزلها عليكم فمن يكفر بعد منكم فإني أعذبه عذابا لا أعذبه أحدا من العالمين. وإذ قال الله يا عيسى ابن مريم أأنت قلت للناس اتخذوني وأمي إلهين من دون الله؟ قال سبحانك ما يكون لي أن أقول ما ليس لي بحق. إن كنت قلته فقد علمته، تعلم ما في نفسي ولا أعلم ما في نفسك، إنك أنت علام الغيوب. ما قلت لهم إلا ما أمرتني به أن اعبدوا الله ربي وربكم، وكنت عليهم شهيدا ما دمت فيهم، فلما توفيتني كنت أنت الرقيب علي وأنت على كل شيء شهيد. إن تعذبهم فإنهم عبادك،
This is very emotional.
تعذبهم فإنهم عبادك وإن تغفر لهم فإنك أنت العزيز الحكيم. قال الله هذا يوم ينفع الصادقين صدقهم، يوم ينفع الصادقين صدقهم، لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا، رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه، ذلك الفوز العظيم. لله ملك السماوات والأرض وما فيهن وهو على كل شيء قدير.
God doesn't care
all right.
if you're mad.
That's
and
the end of it. All right. Wow. So that was a very emotional recitation of the Quran. Clearly, the guy is. I want to get out this ad. Clearly, this guy is very passionate about. I'm going to go back to here. All right. Clearly, this guy is very passionate about his faith, about what he believes. And halfway through, he started choking up, and you could hear it in his voice. So I'm just going to kind of go through it, give a little bit of my thoughts down through. What's interesting is that when it started, as far as this idea of bringing together the messengers and what was the response he received, and that like God, only you actually know. We don't know what that response is. I agree with that sentiment overall as well. It is true that God knows all things and God is all knowing. And at the end of the day, all of us don't really know what sort of influence we all had or how our message was all received and the things we delivered to this world. Only God knows in whole on Judgment Day what was the result of our life, what the result of the life we led. So I agree with that sort of sentiment. Oh, thank you, Ali41, for interacting with the chat. The chat, my bad. React to my Quran playlist. Is that a like playlist on public playlist on YouTube? I'm not sure if that's what it's actually called. Let me know more, a little bit more details in the chat. So anyway, that sort of sentiment I agree with, and I agree with in general. And then there's this like interesting conversation here with Jesus and God that I'm seeing, where he's talking about how God revealed to Jesus the Torah and the gospel, which again, if I understand correctly, they would believe that the Torah and the gospel that we as Christians would claim to have today has been corrupted over the years or isn't the right one, something like that. People can correct me if I'm wrong. So this must be referring to what they would consider the original revelation to Jesus or to the Israelites as well in regard to the Torah, which is older than the gospel. Okay. Thank you, Alif, for clarifying. I might not have time today on this live stream. I have some things I gotta get done tonight, but I might have to check it out later. So I'll note that for later. And so it's just interesting then to think that I, as a Christian, would claim that I know what the gospel has to say, and stuff like that because of the gospel we have today. But obviously people would disagree with its historical strength. And then it goes into how Jesus healed the blind, healed the leper. There's that one about the bird that I don't really know about. And so if there's any other references in the Quran about that bird blowing life into the bird, that'd be interesting to learn more about. But yeah, again, I would agree that Jesus healed people. He did a lot of miracles. That was very much a big part of his ministry on earth. That was a big part of his life on earth, was doing these different type of miracles. And obviously the difference would be between Christianity and Islam a lot of times boils down to what was the purpose of those miracles and what sort of teachings did Jesus teach. And so, yeah, that is another thing that I would agree with. Again, Jesus being a miracle worker, someone who did miracles. The implications of that, though, is obviously where the difference arises, or as far as what we believe Jesus taught. And I'm not going to get into the history as of why I trust the Bible to be historically accurate. And within the Gospels, within the Bible, John 1, where it says the Word was God, and the Word became flesh and was dwelt among man. And that was and the Word was then in reference to Jesus later on that verse. Or when in the Gospels in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John in them, where it says Jesus called himself I am, which was a term which would mean God. Where he also says, before Abraham, I was, referencing to him being eternal, where he forgave sins, which would be an act of God as well. So just that within that reference of what the gospel says about Jesus would indicate him being, would not indicate him being just a messenger as far as how Muslims typically understand it. But again, I'm willing to listen and read more because I'm still studying the history of different religions. And so I am reading more about the history of Islam, reading more about the history of Christianity, and just learning more about these different faiths and comparing them and see which one makes the most sense. I'm constantly doing that. I want to do that my whole life, constantly reevaluate what I believe and see what I believe. But I'm not going to get too deep into the history of the weeds because I'm not an expert on the issue. Although I will actually, interestingly enough, have someone on my channel who studies more of the history of the Bible and things like that. So it's going to be interesting to do an interview with him. But anyway, that's obviously the big difference. What was the message Jesus taught? And that's where the disagreement would come up. And so then it talks about how obviously then when Allah talks to Jesus here in this passage, Jesus is saying, no, we never told them to worship me as a deity. We never said that. And now it also says Mary, which that kind of confuses me for a second because me as a Christian, Mary's just a person. She's just a human being. Mary is not a deity. And even Catholics who are different than Protestants in regard to how they treat saints or treat people like Mary, even they don't call her a deity or a god, but they do revere her more highly than I think Protestants would. And so, yeah, that is something else that's a little bit, as far as comparison goes, interesting. And then later on in the thing, it talks about, okay, someone can explain to me a little bit about what's the significance of the table and food. So I follow the storyline where they're requesting this table of food, and then it's eventually presented to them, to the disciples and to Mary. And so I wasn't entirely sure what the significance of that table of food was. I followed the storyline, but I didn't get the significance. Is there something significant about a table of food being presented to them? Is there something significant within that culture that I don't understand? That would be something interesting for me to learn about. And then there's all that, and then talking about how there will be a punishment for those who, after they receive this table, don't believe. And again, I agree, as far as like those who don't believe in God and those who follow the wrong way, and those who are, especially those who receive revelation or receive some sort of promise or gift from God, and then they don't use it for good or they don't actually follow Him, there will be punishment. There will be negative results because of that. There will be judgment for that. And so it boils down to, when it comes to differences, normally what do we think was actually taught? What do we think is the actual teachings? But yeah, overall, I thought this was very interesting. I did read this before, but actually listening to a recitation of it is very, very fascinating. And obviously the guy was I don't know who was actually reciting this. I wonder if it's, I don't know how to say that name. I don't want to mispronounce it. But so it looks like that guy said it. He obviously was very passionate. He had a very beautiful voice. I enjoyed listening to him because he was a very good reader and reciter. I see, Alif, you're still in the comments there. God is all knowing and all hearing. Yep, you do need to pray though. Mediator like Mary, Jesus, Saint, etc. You do need to pray through mediator like Mary, Jesus, Saints, etc. No, that we don't. As Christians, we don't pray through a mediator. I'm not Catholic, so that's a whole nother topic. But I'm not Catholic. Some Catholics will not pray to saints, but think that certain saints will help protect them and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure about Catholic theology, so I'm not even going to try to explain as far as what they view saints, but I don't pray to saints. I don't pray to them as mediator. I believe I can pray directly to God. But I'm not going to get into the whole Catholic Protestant differences there. But yeah, so overall, I did enjoy this video. And as I said, this one's going to be a little bit quicker. We're just doing one video today. But those are my thoughts. And I have a few other things I was going to get done tonight. I just wanted to make sure I do this video because people have been requesting me to watch this video, to react to this video. And so I wanted to check it out. But yeah, thank you for checking in. And Alif, thank you for interacting with the comments. Oh, Salima, hey, thanks for your reaction to the conversation between Jesus and Allah. You're welcome, my man. I think you're the one who was requesting me to react to this one. Hopefully when I finish this live stream, if you didn't get to watch the whole thing, you can go back and watch the beginning and watch it all the way through. Thank you for the request. I actually did really enjoy this video. This was the only video I reacted to today. I'm keeping this one a little bit shorter because I have a few jobs I got to get done later tonight. But thank you for the request. Thank you for presenting this to me, and continue, guys, to leave other videos and other material in the comments for me to check out. I enjoy learning about Islam, enjoy learning more about Hinduism, enjoy learning about other religions, and constantly always challenge myself, being open-minded to my best of my abilities, even though we all have our flaws and we all make our mistakes. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, like how I like to close out, continue to go out there and light the world, my friends. Thank you.